Hi guys.
Hi.
Okay, so firstly, don't adjust your screen or anything. This is not one of those aging filters. This is us 16 years later. Isn't it? All the grey and the wrinkles are real. They're not been added for effect.
No wrinkles.
There might be some.
The afterlines.
You might not be able to see them on the screen if we're lucky. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so if anyone so far has watched any of this, you will hopefully have watched the TV series that we're on.
Yes, tack
Yep.
Villagelife. You mean Such as Life?
If you haven't,
Or some Bulgarian might correct me. But I believe it means Such as Life, and basically it is a series that they do in Bulgaria, or they did at that time, for what it was like living in Bulgaria. The one that we were on, it was about new Bulgarians, so foreigners that had chosen to live in Bulgaria,
Yep.
basically.
Yep.
So hence why we're the new Bulgarians. We're not anymore. We're really
we're the very old Bulgarians.
well, we're not
if we class as that, yeah, that's right.
Bulgish.
Bulgish as
Yeah.
we get called, yes. Eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why we kind of want to do this, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Because it was left on a will we stay, will we go, will we find what we were looking for, the elusive happiness that we were after, whatever you want to call it, the gold at the end of the rainbow, were we going to find that?
I didn't think we were looking for anything.
We weren't as such, but we needed something.
Sorry.
Didn't we? We needed something, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
And this was the point.
We came to try something new.
Yeah, absolutely. We only left the UK to try something new, and we were struggling at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of us were used to sort of the amount of time that we had. I think that was probably it, and we probably felt that we weren't using that time wisely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, because we had no reason to we didn't have something to make us get up in the morning. There was no set.
No, that's right. We did what we
You
wanted.
just got up
when
and
we
did
wanted,
whatever you wanted to do. That's
right.
what it's like.
Yeah. At that particular point, I hated my own company. So I wasn't like I'd go off and do something on my own or whatever. I just I don't know why other people.
You just had too much time,
like being
didn't
with me because I didn't. So yeah. So if we now assume that you've caught up, you've watched the videos, all right. You see what we're talking about. Yes, it was solemn. Where are we going to stay? Blah blah blah. So what we want to do is bring things up a little bit. We're going to try and do it in some sort of chronological order to show what we did as we did it. And it'll be over a period of time, obviously not all today. So we're going to stick with the football for this particular one, aren't we?
Yeah.
Because that was probably a key part to us becoming more involved with the village, with Bulgarians in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot to do with that, I think, and filling some of that void for us. Yeah. So as it says, as you've seen, we had at the time of the TV series, we were training the kids.
Yeah.
I think that was as far as it got.
The youngsters. Yeah.
We were training the kids, which was great fun. It was just a barrel of laughs, to be honest. They loved it. I loved doing it. They were getting hold of some of the stuff and learning some of the exercises and things like that. Bearing in mind, I can speak pretty any Bulgarian back then.
Yeah.
I'm not much better now, but back then I could barely speak any of it, and they couldn't speak English. So it was interesting, interesting and challenging at times.
I think now, how on earth did you get on?
Because it's football, it's easy, isn't it? You just do it with the ball, show, and it works. Anyway, so
there is some footage actually of the youngsters, so I'll put a link.
What happened next with the football was that the older lads and the guys in the village basically came and said, "Can we train?" So
I'm going to eat another.
The natural,
really embarrassing.
the natural progression.
No, I'm not.
From obviously training the older lads as well as the younger lads once they'd asked was that they then came to me and said, Darren, can you help us get a team in the league?
Well, you say it was a natural progression. You had no idea.
Oh, absolutely.
It was
It wasn't a natural progression.
It was a bit
For
of a
me, so
shock.
to speak, it was kind of the stepping stone that went.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I certainly hadn't expected to run a men's football team in Bulgaria.
No.
It was the first time they'd had a team in the league for over 30 years or so, I believe.
Yeah.
So it was a big thing for the village itself.
Mm-hmm.
So once they'd asked, it was a case of, well, okay, what do we need to do? There was a lot of paperwork.
I think, yeah, it was kind of like, are we
There was
sure we want to do
Yeah,
this?
absolutely. There was a lot of paperwork. We had to
red tape
set up a
was just
club,
horrendous.
register it.
Which
we had
is
to get
like
all this-
setting up a business, you know, when
Yeah,
you have to set up
absolutely.
a company to buy a house in Bulgaria.
Yeah.
With the old style, and probably now because of Brexit.
But-
Yeah, you had to set up a company, didn't
Yeah,
you?
luckily, obviously, we had Dencha and Villagelife, who were absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Proper
They were.
rocks for us back then, weren't they? While I'm doing all this sort of side of stuff and the training and preparing the team, etc., Nikki was sorting out where the rest of the finances were going to come from. How are we going to
Well,
do it?
because of the way that teams run over there, it's very official. You have to have a police officer present.
Doctor.
You have to have a doctor, and of course there was all like it was on a field. So basically, Darren had to get it ready, pitch ready.
So basically, yeah, there was an awful lot of paperwork to do, an awful lot of organisation to do. Dencha and Villagelife were absolutely fantastic with that. The local mayor at the time was absolutely brilliant as well. Was mad keen on the idea of having a league. We had to literally start from scratch with a field to make a pitch.
Yeah, it was literally a field with the donkeys.
And the initial lining of the pitches, the things like that was done with lime, var, the powdery stuff. I made a little contraption. There were some long pieces of wood, and we would just basically fill that across, drag it down, and do the lines like that. It was the only way we could get them straight, because some of our early attempts were really quite wobbly.
You were rapid.
Yeah, it looked like some drunk had gone down the side and done these lines like this.
Did you have proper goals then?
Yeah, we had the goals.
You
goals
didn't get nets.
the goals were
We
there,
had to
but
get
we had to.
nets were donated, I think.
Yeah, we got everything in the end that we needed, and we got into the position where we could have it. We had one of the smallest pitches in the league, but we did get to that stage where we were able to start in the league, and we did, which was fantastic. The support from the village was brilliant. They all used to come out and watch the home games and everything else.
And you actually did get to win some
Eventually,
games.
yeah.
Eventually, yeah. Once the team sort of gelled a bit more.
Yeah, it was one of
Which
those
is
things.
amazing because you weren't expected to even score a goal.
No, nobody wanted us to, because
No.
village is a predominantly Roma village. So there was a lot of interest at the time with this English manager and a Roma village. Why was what was going on basically. So it was on radio and papers and what have you at the time. For me, I just thought it was bizarre that anyone would be interested in our little team anyway.
Yeah.
But
I don't think we really saw the bigger impact of it.
no, not at all.
Really.
To us, we were just doing football.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all it was to us.
Exactly.
It was
And it was
just
just great fun.
we were allowing some guys to play football, and it was a good laugh. There was a good bunch of lads. They enjoyed it, and that was the main thing. And yeah, we didn't do too well to start off with, and then when we won our first game, I think it stopped being about the Roma side with the English manager, and it eventually just became we were just another team.
I think because you earn respect, that's why. Because, like I said, most
just play football.
teams didn't think you would score a goal, let alone win games, and people started respecting the team.
I think it went on the football itself, didn't it?
Yeah.
And that was what we were hoping would happen.
Which was great. Yeah.
In fairness, we probably didn't expect it to be any different than that in the beginning.
No, we didn't.
But
of
when
course. We didn't
way
realise the
things-
racial
absolutely,
tension that there was.
The way it moved on, we just became another team that were playing football. Some games we'd win, some games we'd lose. That was the way it was. But most of the time, it was just enjoyable, wasn't it?
I think one of the funniest sort of things that came from it, which you would never expect, is getting stopped by the police and thinking you're going to get into trouble for something that you don't know what you've done wrong, and then
Blue lights. flashing lights, everything pulled over.
Yeah.
Would you like to manage this team?
Yeah, getting asked to manage another football team.
Well, no, I'm managing one at the moment. Oh, okay. If you change your mind, let me know.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right.
So while Darren was managing the team, obviously, as we said, we needed funding. We had to get football boots. Actually, we had a lot of football boots donated, thanks to your Auntie Pat, who sent over a suitcase full, and thanks to Exeter Airport for allowing her to send a suitcase full over for free, full of football boots.
Which she picked up in car boot sales and wherever. Bless her.
I mean, she was amazing.
Although it was me in the public eye doing the training and starting the team and managing the team and things like that, it was Nikki in the background who was getting everything.
Well, we needed to get funding because we needed a football kit. So first off, I was a member of My Bulgaria, a forum. We didn't have Facebook or social media back in those days, so there were two.
Wow, we are old.
There were two main forums, My Bulgaria and Brits in Bulgaria, that I was a member of, and where I got most of my information about Bulgaria. And My Bulgaria sponsored us. I can't remember how much it was for, but we got so much money anyway to afford a football kit and to pay for the games for a season, I think it was. So yeah, we got loads of donations from different people, various people, some from as far away as Canada, but mostly from the
Steve,
UK.
Thank you.
Mostly from the UK, and
we had an anonymous donor that played a lot towards our match fees, basically the running costs. My aunt was sending boots still, and anything else that she could get hold of. She was just brilliant for that. So we had these sources that Nikki managed to get a hold of, all coming in from different directions. The biggest single one,
you
I really have to mention, was that we ended up with, I don't know how she pulled it off, but a company called Kit Aid.
I begged.
Yeah, that's right. Must have begged an awful lot.
I did.
Just a real sort of
I wrote to a lot
puppy dog eyes.
No, because I emailed.
They
I wrote
said
to
so
a lot
much.
Of, I wrote to a lot of clubs, basically initially, to ask for help, and then I don't even know how I came across these people.
Kit Aid.
Kit Aid. Yeah, I don't know how
But
I
it was,
found them.
but it was another guy as well, wasn't there?
But they'd already sent kit over to Africa, to places.
Yeah,
so
they weren't dealing with Bulgaria, were they?
No, not at that time. No.
But you obviously sold the point to them that these are kids that couldn't afford it and blah blah blah. So they agreed to send us a load, which was great. And there was another guy who managed to get, who had a lorry with the transport and managed a whole load of other kit as well.
Yeah.
So when this lorry turned up, just chocker full of kit and equipment. There was footballs, boots,
loads of footballs,
everything on there. An England football top. We'll come back to those in a minute.
Oh, the England football top. Yeah.
But it was just like miniature, like kiddie kits and all sorts. There was. There was training equipment. There was everything you could have wanted. But it was far, far too much.
It was a lot.
Just for them.
Yeah.
We had all this kit and we were giving it to all the orphanages, all the schools and things like that we could give it to. But we did end up with a situation where we ended up with all of these extra large England tops. And we were like, what are we supposed to do with these? Because obviously, if you've seen any of the football things, you'll realise that the lads weren't extra large. No. We didn't have any extra large players whatsoever. They were all quite small. So we didn't really have any players to give it to. So because we were obviously involved with the village by now, and we knew a lot of the older guys in the village, we thought, well, it would be nice to give them some. So that's what we did. And it's still quite a surreal thing walking around a Bulgarian village and seeing quite a lot of people walking around with kind of the latest England top on. It was cool. It was really nice. Cool. It was fun. They enjoyed it. I think they wore it probably as much as anything.
It was a real icebreaker
for a laugh,
actually.
Wasn't it? As much as anything.
Yeah.
So it was great. So at this point, I think we can finish this for now.
Yeah.
This episode.
Yeah.
That takes us on a little bit from where we were on the series.
Yeah.
and shows that we had started to settle in. We were enjoying being in Bulgaria, and the idea now, I think, is to, over the next few episodes, we'll show what else we were up to.
I suppose, yeah.
At the same time as this.
Yeah. How we settled into village life.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, basically. And what else we were doing, what else was
Or
happening
did we
along the same
settle?
side. Oh, yes, well, there you go. Only time will tell.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Okay.
a mystery. Ooh, I love a mystery. So, yeah, that's how we're going to leave it for now. So,
Yeah.
thanks
Thank you.
if you managed to keep watching through this point.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, and hopefully,
Thank you.
see you next time.
We'll see you soon.
Cheers.
Take
Bye.
care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you.